Well, it's finally bloody here. Welcome to our review of Cyberpunk 2077. We're gonna tell you everything you need to know before you play. But before I do, make sure to hit subscribe and the notification bell for more videos just like this every single week. You're not gonna wanna miss it. I think it's pretty safe to say that Cyberpunk 2077 is the most anticipated game of 2020. CD Projekt RED's ambitious sci-fi RPG has been delayed time and time again, but as it's tumbled down the calendar, the hype has only grown. Set in the Cyberpunk universe that has its origins in the world of tabletop games, you play as a mercenary known only as V, surviving in the sprawling metropolis of Night City. But now it's finally here. Does Cyberpunk 2077 live up to all the hype? Watch on to find out. CeX. Firstly, the undisputed star of the game is Night City itself. It's one of the most immersive, fully realised open worlds I've ever experienced. Everywhere you go and everywhere you look, there's something interesting to see. From the brash, neon advertising adorning the side of skyscrapers, to the city's diverse citizens. To call the environment organic feels a bit odd, given it's a city built on artifice, cybernetic augmentation, and just general excess. But I tell you what, it just makes sense. Everything from the traffic system to the weather feels natural, rather than on a set cycle. You can never predict what will be around the next corner, and the sense of exploration is something I haven't felt so strongly since The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. This variety extends to the gameplay and missions too. The main plot gives you several ways to tackle a situation, from all guns blazing to a more stealthy approach. Personally, I preferred the latter, as although the gunplay works great, melee attacks feel a bit spongy and just aren't that fun to use. As someone who often prefers to use a big stick as opposed to a blaster, a more clandestine style was the best path to take. And that's not to mention the plethora of side quests you'll get offered too. There's honestly almost too many to do, as your phone rings every few minutes with a new opportunity. Fortunately, on the whole, they're brilliant, and depending on actions you take throughout the game, you might get access to a completely different selection of missions to another player. It's one of the many ways Cyberpunk feels like a true role-playing experience, and naturally necessitates several playthroughs. But then you add the character customization options on top, and the level of creativity at your disposal goes up even more. It's been well documented how granular the appearance modification is, allowing you to adjust basically everything, including the size of your package. But to be honest, this doesn't really play that much into the main game, as aside from manning a vehicle, you're more than likely going to be in first-person mode. Where things get a bit more interesting is when you can customize your origin story and stats. Depending on what backstory you pick, people in the world will interact with you differently, allowing for wildly diverging paths with each playthrough. The first few hours of the game are solely dedicated to establishing your place in the world, and from there, you can pick to behave however you want, as well as adding cybernetic modifications to enhance your abilities. The story your version of V fits into is equally impressive. The voice acting is phenomenal, with standout performances from the likes of Keanu Reeves as the charismatic Johnny Silverhand. Everyone feels right at home in this seedy world, and you'll be captivated by the drama and intrigue that never lets up, even over 100 hours into a play. With that being said, not everything is perfect. Despite some day one patches, there's still a hefty amount of technical issues throughout the game. Most are purely cosmetic, such as guns floating in the air and textures clipping, but they can definitely spoil the immersion, which is a real shame. Hopefully these can be patched out with further updates, but for now, they're an evil you'll just have to live with. To wrap up, Cyberpunk 2077 is an undisputed masterpiece. It excels at most things it sets out to accomplish, from a riveting story and exciting gameplay to one of the best and most memorable game worlds I've ever had the pleasure to experience. Is it perfect? No. But no game is, and the technical drawbacks are quickly forgotten once you get to the next exciting stop on your story. This is hands down one of the best games of the year, and an exciting sign of things to come for this console generation. But what did you think of Cyberpunk? Please let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more videos just like this every single week. See you next time. CeX.